Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Apex Online Racing Grand Prix here in Bahrain. I'm Ben Rwaggy Amkasa, and joining me on the caster's desk is Rwaggy Amkasa. Elder, how are you doing?
Not too shabby, man. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. I'm very excited for this race. We've got 15 turns here in Bahrain. We've got 2 DRS straights. This is the 2018 version of the track, not the 3 DRS straights we have got in the 2019 version. And the 3 tyre compounds that are available to the drivers are the super softs, the softs, and the mediums. Obviously, the drivers will need to do 2 of those if we do have a dry race. And with it being Bahrain, the chances are it's going to be a dry race. Now, we do have a hot lap. I'm going to go straight into that now.
Welcome to Secure Bahrain. I am Ninja Rider here to take you on the hot lap of the Secure International Circuit. This is CRG Evo on the Xbox One. He won the last round at Australia here at AOR. Turn 1, very, very sharp off of the pit straight. Lots of passing opportunities here, and 30 meters wide on the track here. 2 and 3 taken flat out. A little bit of a lift here in true to get you down the front straight. Turn 4. Passing opportunity there, a switchback, and another wide part of the track. Drivers will be taking the whole thing left, right, and left here through the S section. Gotta be careful to not cut the track or leave the track in any fashion. Cut it right down. Turn 7 and 8, and now 9 and 10. Double corner, got to watch the bump there on the inside of turn 10, a very, very slow section of the track, but with DRS, they ramp it all the way up. 8th gear grabbed before the sweeper in turn 11, got to brake and turn at the same time, and in the same section of corners, you must accelerate out. For 12 and 13, you cut it down just a little bit. 4th gear, get the best exit you can down a very, very long straight. Crank it all the way up, running low downforce for most cars. The slipstream becomes very important here as another passing section here for turn 14. A very exciting track here at Bahrain. And a fantastic lap here by CRG Evo. Enjoy the race, everyone.
Thank you very much for that indeed. Okay, we are already underway with the qualifying session, so let's get on it. And I'm going to chuck you under the bus this time. So, podium predictions, please.
It looked really good last time out, so I think Enigma's possibly going to be near the top. I have just noticed that one of our good friends, speakers here, so I think he could actually do quite well. I think because he's now having to race without any assist, isn't he now? That's right, one of the rules coming into F4 is you turn off everything. F5 you're allowed line and automatic gears, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But coming into F4 he's had to turn everything off. So it could be interesting to see if he does well, but I think Enigma's going to take pole. I'm going to put... I'm just working out who's actually here from last week that I can remember. Sweatu was good last week, so I'm going to put him P2. I think Beacon might nick P3. If he gets it together, he'll be up there.
Yeah, and I think that's ultimately what it comes down to, is just how well he can get it together. He is a very quick driver, but obviously he's fresh now out of using no line. He has put a bit of practice into this track. I do expect him to be able to put in a decent time, especially with his capabilities. It's just purely, has he put enough practice in for today? My prediction though, I mean Flash has just set a fast lap now, 1:27.251, which is quite a solid lap there, but he has done it on the super soft, so we'll see if he can break the 1:26s. That is the magic number if you are on the super softs, but we'll see how the mediums can do, because realistically from a strategy perspective you're going to be going softs to mediums ideally. Yeah. But you can, if you stretch it hard enough, go super softs to mediums. But from my prediction, I actually think Assassin's got it. And with him right now, Assassin is a quick driver. We know he can do some incredible things, but last week out he didn't quite have the race that he wanted, but you know, like you say, Enigma, he was very, very quick. I think his teammate, Enigma, can actually take a P2 out of this. It's going to be between the two of them. I think Ferraris are going to be on pole today, either one. And I think the other one's going to be very close in P2. P3 is where it's going to be a bit harder to guess. I'll be honest with you. I think it's hard to really look away from Sweat U from being a quick driver. He really impressed me last week out. There was a few issues, but hopefully he can deliver.
So what's your rundown again, quickly? Just remind me.
So I'm going to go Enigma, Assassin, Enigma, and then Sweat U.
Okay, thanks. Similar to what I've gone with, I've just thrown Beaker in the middle. But I think you mentioned it earlier on tyres. I think that's what it's going to come down to on this pole. If they feel confident that they can do a one-stop on those super softs, that's where that pole lap is going to come from. As you can see, pretty much everyone bar 4 drivers currently out on the mediums. Obviously, get a banker in on the mediums, then change either onto the softs or super softs later on. Depends how confident you feel at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, time's starting to come in. Nico's currently up there in P2 just behind Flash. For those who weren't here with us last week, Enigma took the win in Australia. This is only a 10-round season. This is round 2. So Enigma took the very crucial... I think every win is going to be crucial, isn't it? But Enigma took the win from Sweat U, followed by Mulchain. Akwe in 4th, Flash in 5th, Paddy 6th, Richie B 7th, Blue in 8th, Rupert 9th, and rounding out your top 10 was Ripson. Some of those aren't actually. So I think most of them are here today. I think Arkway's not.
Yeah, it doesn't seem Mulch either. I don't think he's here unless he's changed his name. There is a Volstappen, which I don't remember him being there last week.
He's supposed to be here. He missed last week.
So looking around at the minute, Paddy is out on a hot lap. He's coming up to the final corner in just a few seconds. The medium tyres are really tough around this track. They take at least 2 laps to properly warm up. Those of them that are already doing it now, you're starting to see them do some 2 laps now. So Race Monster's up there, Blue's up there, Zones is up there. I do expect Enigma to come across the line again and break into the 127s. Probably like a mid-tier 127, I reckon. Just purely down to how well he can deliver. I do want to check out Beaker, who's rocking the Sauber today. He's looking alright. I'm looking at his line that he just took through that. Well, that's one of the hardest corners on the circuit. In fact, it's one of the hardest corners on the actual calendar, and he did that really well. Richard B takes pole, 126.612. I did predict we're getting the 126s. I didn't think it'd be this early on with 11 minutes to go. There's still plenty of time to knock that time apart.
Yeah. Interesting. Corn's going out on some... Well, could be going out on some softs. Just checking what times people have done it on. So Jezza did super softs. Was quite off the pace down there in 7th. Corn obviously not second time yet. Beaker's come around that final corner. Let's see what he does. It's going to be a bit off the pace because he's already at 30 seconds. There you go.
Yeah.
But it's a first lap effectively, isn't it? So, and that's not a good sign for Blue to leave the session that early. I think his game's just crashed.
He will hopefully be back very shortly. I do want to have a look at Flex's Marcy. He was someone else who had an interesting race last week out, to say the least. I saw a lot of issues from him. Hopefully he can pull himself together for this race and just really smash it or get himself some very valuable points for the championship. But yeah, like you were saying about Enigma, that race win carries so much momentum. Your first race of the season, you're already looking pretty good and solid going into the actual the season ahead. Yes, like you said, it's a 10 race season, so every win counts massively as your percentages increase of chances of winning. So let's see if Enigma can carry that momentum into it. He's on the softs now on an outlap. I'm still on board with Flex's Marcy as he comes through the middle DRS section.
Yeah, we'll see what he can deliver. You just mentioned Enigma is out on some softs. Looking like Race Monster's going out some softs as well. So Rupert jumps up to P3 then to beat Enigma's time. So that could be interesting if he can. If he's going to change on to a set of mediums, or softs, he might actually go faster than Enigma, which could make a bit of a mess of Enigma's plans today to run it from the front. And Beaker's actually gone for another flyer, just sat with him while he was going round. He does improve up to 12th then for him. So, Flex's Marcy, where is he? He's about to cross the line.
There goes P4. So that's a good start. It's a good improvement from, he's up there on 128.079. The fastest right now is a super soft time of 126.612. So, I mean, he's getting there. He's closing in on that gap. I think once he gets onto the softs, I think he will break into the low 127s. Whether or not drivers choose to go to the super soft, because the soft is ideally the strategy you want to go on to if you can do it. It's just going to be such a rough ride there.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if Enigma took a very easy lap on those mediums just to make people think that he's not as quick as he could be around here. He is an F3 driver from last season, so he's actually dropped down to this level. So we know he should have the pace to be up near the top, if not at the top. And obviously winner last time out. We'll see what he's doing. He's out on the softs at the moment, going through turn 7. Coming down towards your favourite 2 corners, 9 and 10.
Yeah, this is brutal. I find this to be just such a difficult little section to do. You know, the car is not really meant to brake and turn at the same time. It really doesn't like when you do that. But obviously this track makes it so you've got no other choice but to do that. Not only on that corner, but on this one coming up here. So it kind of makes it a rough ride for any of the drivers, but it really pushes the you know, the margin of skill between the 2 drivers. Really sort of just shows who is the better driver by managing that corner at the most. If you see a lot of drivers breaking up there, that's, you know, locking up. Sorry, that's an indicator of a bit of weakness maybe.
Yeah, well, Enigma's coming up to turn 14 and 15 now. Let's see if he can get himself. Ideally, he wants to put this in the low, very low 127s, if not the high 26s. Will it be possible? Well, there's your answer.
Yeah.
A high 26. You may just retire with that and just go, right, I'm going to have a quick 5 minutes off. See you guys later.
Yeah, I mean, he's literally 2/10 behind Richie B, who's done that on the super soft tyre. That's just an indicator of how quick Enigma actually is. It's phenomenal to see, and I'm hoping that he can carry this momentum, like I say, from Australia and get himself onto another race victory here. That'll be 50 points under his belt and a very good jump start into the season.
Absolutely. Falcon Felix is about to start flying up, never mind. He's done 1 lap here, did a reinstallation, he's going again.
Sweaty's having a crack. He's middle DRS now, coming up into the left-hander of 11.
Yes, this corner here, number 12, is where we could potentially see some people make some mistakes, because that inside curb is nasty. It bites back if you go on it a little too much, and you just lose the control, either oversteer or understeer off that curb, and you can see cars flying all over the place if they get it wrong there. It's fun to see if you're a spectator, not fun to be in if you're a driver.
It's terrifying, let me tell you now. Especially if you've got the ballast just 1 notch too high, that can ruin you so badly. You do need to try and adjust your setup to match the requirements of the track. But obviously some drivers like to push the limits a little bit further to see what they can accomplish by making it just so much, you know, the weight so much more at the back. It can really help the drivers, and it's currently helping Richard B right now.
Yeah, he's coming around the final corner. He's on another fly on these super softs. Can he improve?
Oh, yes he can.
0.163 faster than his previous best. That's just give him a little bit of breathing space to Enigma. If Enigma decides he wants to come out and have another stab at it, I suspect he will. I mean, there's no reason not to.
But that's got to strike fear in your mind if you're, you know, the likes of Richard B or Flash or anybody else on the track. Because if Enigma is able to almost match your time on the soft compound tyre, imagine if he flicks to the super soft compound. It's just unfathomable as to how quick he's going to be in regards to the other drivers on track. It's just, again, it's all well and good being really quick in the qualifying, but it comes down to the race. If you make sure that your race pace is on track, then you... Oh, there was almost a moment there for Verstappen, but he's kept it together. Or Verstappen, even. And he's gone P4, 127.476. Good time.
That's not too bad. Yeah, he's obviously up there. Everyone's done, most of them have done the times on those mediums. He's one of those few to actually set a time on the softs, as everyone else is languishing in the pits, getting ready for their final run. Exterminator coming around the final corner now on some super softs.
I'm not sure if he just invalidated. No, he didn't. Wow.
That's impressive, actually. He's put it just in front of Enigma. Enigma's actually stuck some super softs on as well. Is he going to come out?
Yeah, I think he will. I think he's going to have to come out in the super soft. But that's... It's kind of interesting, though, because like I say, from the strategy side of things, it does make it tough to do the super softs. They disintegrate like crazy on this track. But, you know, it depends again on the car setup, the tyre management from the actual drivers themselves. So they can make it work. I'm just saying it's not going to be easy.
No, but I mean, if he wants to start at the front, he might have to do it. Obviously, doing it like professional drivers do. If you look at Q2, all the best drivers do it on the medium compound, let's call it, instead of the soft compound to get through to the next qualifying. That's what they then start on, and that's how they want to do it then. But if they can't make it through the qualifying, they have to stick on the softer compound, and that's what I'm thinking he's going to have to do if he wants to start at the front. He's just not that quick on those soft tyres. Yeah. I can't wait till they change the tyre names for this game to just soft, medium, and hard. It becomes so much easier.
Yeah, it does. I mean, if you get into the technicalities of it, it's actually far more complicated when you get proper into it. But in terms of naming conventions, yeah, it makes life so much easier. And hopefully Beaker's made his life so much easier now he's turned the racing line off and he's giving this track the full beans. He's currently coming up to turn 12, the one we were talking about. Now, Beaker is the sort of guy who likes to try and push himself ballast-wise. And that's what we're saying, that turn 12 and 13 is going to be a rough corner. He's ran a bit wide there, not quite got the braking zone too well, but I have been informed that he was only aware he needed to turn his his racing line assist off about 2 hours before this race. So he's very quickly put some practice time in to try and learn as much as he could. Obviously, he knows the track well enough to a certain extent. It's just imagining the line is there.
Yeah, I think his aim today is quite simply just to finish, ideally finishing the points, but just the finish will be the main aim for him. So Enigma has dropped down to P4 now. Flash has jumped up ahead of him. Enigma is out on some super softs. Is he going to try and be the last man to start his flying lap so he knows if he can bail?
Potentially.
Yeah.
So
who else? Go on.
2 minutes left of the session. Rupert's currently on a flyer. He's coming around this second to last corner now. A little bit of a straight going up to the final corner. He's on a set of softs. He's looking for that good strategy. It will work out for him if he can pull it off. I mean, the other thing that you got to factor in when you're on these sorts of strategies is you are playing the long game. And when you're playing the long game, it does require you to not get involved in any sort of incident whatsoever. You can't afford an early pit stop, but P5 is where he goes with 127.171.
Yeah, that's pretty much best the rest, isn't it? After the super softers at the front. So, who else is on a flyer? Is Flexus Marcy on a flyer?
He is.
I think he is. Going up through 12. See what you can do. Just ignore all those yellow flags unless you see someone DNF.
He's got a good number on that car.
What number has he got? I can't see it.
I'll leave it as a little Easter egg for you.
Ah, yes. Fair dues to him.
And then it's coming across the line, and he's going to do a 127.012. So now he's the best of the rest at the minute. And it's really knocked Rupert down just a touch. 51 seconds remaining of the session. The drivers are going to need to get out as quick as they can now, and you know, put in, this is their last attempt really, unless you're going to come across. Oh, actually, this Flex is. I thought he was going to retire then already, but no, he's just pulling over to let other cars past.
So
Sweat retired there.
Sweat you improved. He moved up to 16th, but he could go again if he wants. I think that's what's going to be crucial for some of these drivers to get that second lap in. Apologies, I'm about to sneeze, so over to you.
No problem. I'm going to have a look over at Enigma, who is on a flyer now on the super soft tyre. He's the one we do predict to be on pole, the way that he's been driving. I thought Assassin might be able to knock him down, but he's not actually going for a super soft run. He's actually there on the 1 lap old soft tyres, and that means if he doesn't break into the top 10, he does have free reign of choosing what tyres he wants to go on and going on a fresh set for the actual race. But now that the qualifying session's over, his drivers, Flash and Rupert and Jezza, they've all finished, so they can't improve. P2 is best for Flash, P6 is best for Rupert. Zones has just gone P7, Blue's gone in P12, Jezza's down dead last. He won't be able to improve, so he's going to have a hell of a battle to get through. Look at the cars getting right out of the way of Enigma. They were literally, it was like Moses parting the water there. Enigma tearing down the middle straight, coming up to the long left and into a difficult right-hander. But he's going to make it look easy.
Has he got it though? This is going to be the crucial part.
Well,
Rich B and Exterminator are on his tail, and they're going to hope to beat whatever he sets. Just 2 corners to go then for Enigma. See what he does.
He's in mode 4 though, he's giving it the full beans. I am looking at his ERS and I'm just seeing that he's not really getting the full worth out of it. He's actually backed out. So that means, because his best lap was on the soft tyre.
Yeah.
And Assassin's actually gone ahead of him as a result of that too. So Assassin is the fastest driver on the soft tyre. Enigma right there behind him. Richard B improves and goes 126.191. Exterminator jumps up there as well and takes P2. Is Flex's Master going to be able to do it? No, he's actually on a cooldown lap. So the only person left who has a chance, and it's Verstappen. He's actually gone into the pits. And that's the end of the qualifying. Richard B takes pole.
Well, don't think any of us predicted that, but that's what happens when you stick on a lovely set of super soft tyres, isn't it? You can just go that little bit quicker. Obviously, they might have hampered their race strategy. That's what we're going to find out later on. Actually, Jez's time at the bottom was on super softs, but that's not going to matter because he's outside the top 10. So, top 3 all going to start on the super softs, the next lot are going to start on the softs, and then everyone outside the top 10, free choice.
Here's a question for you. Could we have been any more wrong from our predictions?
Yes.
I mean, if you look at the if you look at it from the you know, the optimal race strategy side of things, then you know the 1-2 is pretty much bang on. We got that. Obviously the super softs runners are the quickest ones on track, absolutely. But again, like I said, this race is not won in the qualifying. It does set you up for a really good session in the actual race, but you know, these drivers that have chosen to start on the softs, they will be in with the best shot at getting a good solid points position. And those in the top 3, they're all qualified on the supers, they're going to have a rough time.
Yeah, I mean, your 3 predictions are 4th, 5th and 7th on. They're 3 of the best 4 on the softs, so they're in a good position. And we'll see come the race how those super soft tyres work. I don't think they're going to go for too long, in all fairness. Probably going to see them coming in about 6 or 7 laps in.
We will indeed. So, no surprise, but the track is dry.
Yeah, there's always a threat of rain, isn't there, in Bahrain? Just like 10% here and there.
I feel like the name of the track is exactly how, you know, the weather is around here. Rain.
There's people, that's when they react to it. Oh, rain.
Yeah, pretty much, I guess. So the drivers are going to be lined up on the track now, getting their race strategies sorted out, how much fuel they're going to be taking on board with them, what sort of, you know, when they're going to pit, what lap are they going to do it on, what tyres they're going to go to, and that's all the sort of conversations they're going to be having with their race engineer. The other thing to think about is the top 3. They've really got to scratch their heads a bit and think about, you know, do I just go for a 2-stop, go softs, super softs, softs, and then softs again? It depends on how comfortable they were in practice for the medium tyre. When I practiced earlier on this track, I did find that the medium tyre was so difficult for me to manage. I couldn't get my head around it. So whether the drivers are feeling the same sort of thing and just decided, actually, I'm just going to do a 2-stop, go super softs and then softs again. Who knows? But we'll keep an eye out throughout the race as we are on the formation lap.
Well, you put me under the bus. I'm throwing you straight under head first. Go.
Enigma, Assassin, Sweat You. So I think my quali prediction was probably more of a race prediction, except I think Enigma will be faster in the race over Assassin. But I think it's going to be marginal. I think they will be battling all the way to the end of the race. And I think it's purely going to be just who outsmarts the other using DRS. I mean, I'm hoping that they are battling all the way to the end, because this is going to be, you know, this is an opportunity. It's a slipstream fest, really, and it's kind of where the drivers can really show off their skills, show off their defensive drive, especially down the home straight.
Yeah, I've seen so many close races on this track in the last few months. Basic positions being separated by less than a tenth at times. It's been quite ridiculous. Don't know what it is about this track. Is it just those long straights leading towards the last 2 corners? Makes it nice and tight. My predictions, I think I'm looking similar to you. You said Enigma, Assassin, Sweat You. I'll go for Enigma, Flex, Marcy, Sweat You.
Oh, okay. So you're taking Assassin out of the podium.
He's going to get eliminated. He's going to get taken out.
Do you want to go really deep into the into who's going to take him out?
He's going to overbrake. No, he's going to brake late into turn 9 and 10, collecting Exterminator, and the Exterminator is going to assassinate the assassin.
I see what you did there.
Thanks.
It's good.
I hope this works, because that would be just brilliant if this comes off perfectly.
Well, we're about to find out. The cars are lining up. We're just waiting for Jezza to get into his pit box as soon as, the grid box. As soon as he's in there, we will be getting underway with the Bahrain Grand Prix, and the drivers will need to be putting their foot down to the max if they want to get a good start off. That's exactly what Exterminator is going to be looking for. When the lights go out right now, off they go. Foot buried. Really good start there from Richie B. I'm looking for Exterminator. He might be able to get the inside line going down it. I think he has. He's ahead of him now. Actually, Richie B didn't quite have the start he was looking for. He's going to have to go around the outside. He will have the inside line for the next one. There's a bit of a wobble there from Exterminator, but he is ahead. And Exterminator, he had the greatest start. He's up in a P1, and now Flash is looking for him too. Richie B has to go defensive onto the inside now. That means that Flash is going to have to take the long way around, and I think he might just get it, but no. Richie B is still alongside him. He's done it. Flash is up in a P2.
Great start there, Flash and for Exterminator. Richard B just not getting the start he wanted. The other person not getting the start wanted Sweat You. Just really sluggish off the line, obviously bogged down a little bit.
Oh,
contact further back as Thrustmaster is making his way up, trying to get past both Ferraris. Assassin hasn't done what I said he's going to do, nearly taking himself out on Richie B though. So nearly correct on that part. But yeah, as well as Ripson, gaining 5 places already, up to P8. Verstappen losing 6 places, just touching the rear there of Assassin. This is close racing, and this is what AOR is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a look around then, because I think Flex's Marcy will look for another opportunity, although he is under threat from Enigma. Enigma did not have a great start. He actually lost a place as a result of his poor start, and so now that's why he is behind. We are going to be seeing who can battle the hardest. We didn't see anybody get much wing damage. I think Rupert was the only one who got a bit of wing damage. I could be wrong though. It looks like he's okay. I don't see anything anywhere else.
I think Ripson has some front and left wing damage on that, as he's trying to make a pass or defend against zone here. Done his turn 1. My terrible camera angle hasn't helped me work out what's happened there.
Oh, he has. He's got broken left wing. I don't think he's got any elements. He does still have the end plate, but he is missing some. And Assassin, he's just been done in by Flex's Marcy, who's gone down the inside and managed to claim that position. Up to P4 he goes. Exterminator gets knocked down out of P1, and Flash, he's taken race lead.
So Flash making amends then. He's worked his way up to the front. I'm still keeping my eyes further back, because midfield battles are always going to be good, because they've got to defend and attack at the same time, and you've got both Mercedes boys trying to defend and attack. Paddy was having a little bit of a nudge at zones earlier. It's calmed down a little bit now, but... So let's see, Assassin is nowhere near Flex's Marcy. Flex's Marcy's just turned it on. He's didn't look all that in qualifying, but now he's going, look, I've got race pace. I was sandbagging in qualifying. Oh, big mistake there for Assassin. He held it though. He might lose out to Enigma here.
Oh, he's coming. He's coming in hard, and it's going to be next lap we get DRS. They won't have DRS on the home straight as the actual detection zone is there. So you won't be able to see it now until we get round onto the middle DRS zone, but that is when it's anyone's game. And the thing to know about here is that the drivers will not be looking to use the middle DRS zone as an overtaking opportunity unless someone is really slow. It's just more of a setting yourself up ready for later on in the session. I'm just looking further downfield as Beaker's under attack. Korn is really giving him some battling. Korn's going down the inside. Beaker's going to have to go wheel to wheel. There's a bit of a lock up there between him and Korn, and now he does have the inside. He's managed to stay so close to him. I think Beaker's actually held on, and he's taken his position of 14th again. And I've been informed that Rupert has 19% damage on the right front. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that, if that affects him very... I mean, he's in P7 at the minute. He's actually... Oh, that was a massive mistake there from Colin. I think he's actually going to lose out to Blue. Blue's giving him a good run as well, and he's on the mediums.
Wow, I can't turn... You're going to the back, I'm now going to the front. I can't turn my eyes away from the Ferraris. No team orders in play here, that looks for sure, as they are battling hard. And Rupert is, despite that wing damage, is still hanging around the back of Assassin. Obviously, there's not as much damage as you might have thought. It might actually be working quite well for him. He's hanging around the back.
Ripson and Zones. Zones just actually went down the inside. Ripson actually lost out as a result of it. Now coming up to 12 and 13. But now Zones, this is what I was saying earlier. You might actually see this live here on the track. Zone's made the decision to overtake using the middle DRS zone, but it has now put him in the firing line for Ripson to pass him again. And even Paddy's right on the back of both of them, so if one of them make a mistake, Paddy will lap this up and just slide on past both of them, and he'll go from being in P10 up into P8, and that'll be huge for him.
Ripson a little bit off track, Paddy with a bit of oversteer as well. That's actually might have helped Zones, because Paddy's going to go past Ripson. Are they going to both go past Zones? Are they going to go 3-1 into turn 1? They're looking, they're trying.
Oh, it's a tough
3-1
one.
into turn 2.
And they're going for it, but Zone's actually managed to hold on. Ripson's now under threat as well, and so is Paddy. They are literally going 3 wide again, coming up to turn 4. It's going to be a rough one now. Who's going to benefit? Oh, there's been a contact between Zones and Paddy. Zones has lost control of the car. He's actually gone off. He's dropping further and further down the field. He lost car completely. He's down in dead last. There was just a bit of contact between the two. Paddy got his wing caught on the back of Zones. I think there is wing damage. I'm just looking for it. No, he's actually got his wing intact. But he lost the control of that car badly.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there was an issue between the two drivers or just they ran out of room going into the corner, but I was on board with Sweat U behind that battle. It was beautiful to watch. Sweat U taking good advantage of that, and he's still on the back of Ripson, challenging now for 8th. While all that was going on, Richard B picks up a 3-second penalty, which is not what you want when you're trying to do different strategies to everyone else. Because you're looking to take those wins by minuscules. Assassin picks up a penalty quite early on as well.
Especially when it's the long run. You know, the softs onto mediums, 3-second time penalty is going to be quite tragic. I mean, he will have the opportunity to, you know, stop that time from being eroded by using the actual pit stop, whereas Richie B is likely going to have to go 2 stops. And that 3 seconds will be huge in his podium chances.
Absolutely. Rupert is still, despite that damage, is still hanging on the back of the Ferraris. Is Rupert the surprise package here today?
It seems like he is.
Considering the fact he does have, it's not a huge amount of damage, but it's still damage. And he shouldn't be hanging on the back of potential championship winning drivers.
I'm just on the, I'm on board with Sweat U's on the back of Ripson. Ripson's actually got 25% damage on the left wing. Whereas Sweat U doesn't seem to have any, and he's right there on the back of him as soon as Ripson. He already made one mistake on one of the corners a bit earlier, and that was where he ran just a bit too wide. Sweat U didn't capitalise on it though, but he may make a move through this section here. Is it going to stick?
He's got Falcon Felix just behind him as well, so he needs to be careful. Obviously Falcon is on the medium tyre, so won't have anywhere near as much grip as the soft guys just yet.
Look at the front though. Our top 3, they're all within DRS of each other, and they've got one more corner to go before we are in DRS. So I think Flash now is going to be thinking ahead. He's going to have to try and go super defensive. Not quite sure how he's going to play it out. It's going to be a rough one, but we'll find out now as we come into the DRS zone.
Yeah, just checking the ERS level there of Exterminator as Richard B has pitted first to blink. Exterminator was in mode 0 going down that last straight. So he had full, well, about 85-90% ERS, and he just dumped a fair amount. He's still got a load left, but Richard B's the first one to pit of these front runners, has dropped the whole way to the back, and he's going to have clean air. That's the only thing going for him. He's gone for soft, so he's definitely going to be 2-stopping today. But as I say, he has clean air. That's the one thing going for him at the moment.
Yeah. Absolutely. Ripson actually lost out as well to Sweat U going down the home straight. Sweat U just took a nice little move down the inside. No real issues. Obviously, the withering damage of Ripson is not helping him with the cornering speeds. It is helping him on the straight, but obviously the locking up into turn 1 is just not what you kind of need, and that's kind of let Sweat U just run away with it a little bit.
Assassin is looking all out of shape today. I've just seen him try and break into turn 8, lost the rear end. Try and break into turn 10, lost the rear end. That back end is tank slapping happy.
Yeah, he's trying to chase Enigma, and again, like you just said there, I could just see that his car was just so unstable. I think if he's going to lose it anyway, it's going to be right here. Let's see if he actually has to battle the car. No, he almost ran a bit too wide though. But he's done okay so far. He's now outside of DRS range, but someone who isn't is the guy right behind him in the McLaren. That is Rupert. He's 6/10 behind him. Slipstreaming down this bit here is going to bring him closer. He needs to be at the magic sort of 4.5, which he is right now. I think this is actually going to be a switch of positions.
Well, crucially, Assassin doesn't have DRS. He's fallen off the back of his teammate, and that's going to allow Rupert to potentially move up. He should get this move made. Assassin's just not moving. I I think he knows what's happening. But Rupert's going to have the inside. Is Assassin going to come for the switch back? No, Rupert's got enough ahead. So, Rupert up to P5. Nice and easy at the end of the day, but Assassin is still on the back of him.
Look further downfield. Look further downfield. You got 15, 16. They're battling. Actually, Zone's managed to get past Jezza. Jezza just lost it a little bit. But then right ahead of them, you got another battle going on with three-way battle. Race Monster does actually have damage to the left-hand wing. It is only 19%, but that's still more damage than the others have got. And Paddy is chasing him down.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between two 19%ers then, isn't there? Race Monster has 19%, but he's under a huge amount of pressure. Rupert has 19%, and he's overtaking people. So, contrasting damage there, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know if it's been helped by the fact Assassin's rear end is hanging out as much as it is. But Paddy isn't going to really close in much. He's still got that gap down to less than a second. Enigma is on the back of Flex's Marcy up front as well.
With one corner to go before DRS, I think we're going to be seeing a switch of podium positions now. I think Enigma is going to be looking stronger out of the soft runners as it stands, and he's actually really close to the back of the super soft, one of which is Exterminator, who's just chucked himself in the pits. What tyres will he come out? We'll have to wait and see. Richie B's decided to go on soft, so it looks like he's going to be doing a two-stopper, because the softs is going to be a rough one to try and take to the end. I think it's physically impossible for him to do it, but I could be wrong. We'll see what Exterminator goes on to. Enigma didn't make the pass happen. There was not enough track for him to be able to do it, and he's going to have to do it on the next lap round.
Yeah, so Exterminator's gone for the softs as well, as Richie B shows us how much pace there is on. Flex's Marcy all out of shape at turn 4. Enigma's got runners back there. Exterminator's come out 2 seconds off the back of Richie B on some softs, so obviously 2 stopping from here. I've got softs to do 15 laps, so yeah. They're not going to go to the end on here.
No, it's going to be
It's
impossible.
all going to come down to how far they can push those, though. If they can push them to, let's say, last 7, 8, 9 laps, they might be able to put on a set of supers.
What's happened to Falcon Felix? Oh, he's lost it. He's off track.
He's just dropped like a stone there.
He was off track there. I don't know if he actually had any damage. It looked like he just spanned the rears and then off he went. Because the way he'd actually lost it on the track, it was almost as if he just spun it and completely rotated the car. He lost a lot of places out of it. He's down all the way down to P16. So he's going to have to do the recovery drive of Demons if he wants to get himself back up there. But Verstappen, he is right ahead of him, which is his teammate. And that gap is 2.5 seconds, which means Richie B, who pit quite early on from the super softs onto the softs, he's going to have to use his DRS to pass him. And off he goes.
Yeah, well, Assassin's coming back at Rupert at the moment. Don't know if that move's going to be made, but...
Enigma! He's on Flex's Marcy going around the outside of the DRS zone. He almost had it done there, but Flex has managed to cut the corner quite nicely and held onto it beautifully. And that means now Enigma is going to have to do it all over again.
Richard B is going faster still. He's just made his move on Falcon. So this is quite important. Even though he's 15th, he has made one stop. He'll be making another stop. If you can make another stop to some super softs later, he might be able to carve his way back through the field. We've got 20 laps to go, so there's a fair distance left of this race. Whether or not it's going to work to his favour or not, we'll soon see. It's up front though, Assassin is still on the back of Rupert. Oh. Assassin has definitely got some graining on that front left tyre. You can just see a little line appearing in the middle of the tyre. That just shows that those tyres are starting to wear a little bit. And when will we see these soft tyres pit?
So my prediction is around about 11, 12. That's kind of the 11 is where you're going to see drivers chuck themselves in if they want to try an undercut. 12 is sort of the best lap time to pull it in on. So we've got a few more laps to go before this happens. Although I've been informed that Assassin's rear tires are actually falling apart. It keeps spinning them, especially when he's locking up so much. So it could play a massive factor. But 1, 2, 3 is currently having a battle here. Flash comes into the pits from the race lead, which does mean Flex's Marcy holds the lead. But it's all going to be for a temporary short time, because Enigma, he is also going around the long way round. Luckily for Flex's, he did have DRS. It's going to be a rough one here. But now Enigma is just behind him. He's not able to pull it off. I think if Flex's didn't have DRS there, I'm pretty sure that would have been a switcheroo. But unfortunately, he did. And now he can't do it. Beaker was battling with Korn, and Korn goes in P6.
Yeah, Assassin diving in the pits as well. He's had enough of those tyres. Very early pit stop from him then. gone onto the medium, so he's going to try and go to the end from here. Should be possible. He'll be hard pushed towards the end. If he wore out his softs that quick, he might wear out his mediums before he gets to the end. And yeah, so Flex's Master with a great defensive drive on Enigma there. Just basically went quite deep into the corner to prevent any cutback from Enigma. Perfectly legal, nothing wrong with it. As Beaker is on the back of Korn.
He is, but again, remember, this DRS zone here is not really a DRS zone you use to overtake with. You just use this to close the gap, nurse your ERS a little bit, just benefit from the fact you've got the slipstream and the DRS there. Yeah, and just don't lock up like you just did. But looking at Beaker's ERS, he's actually running pretty low on it, 27%. He's not really going to have enough to be able to make the overtake happen on the home straight if Korn manages to get a better exit than Beaker does. Because Beaker's going to be wanting to chuck it into mode 4. But looking at the gap right now, it's 6.5 down to 6. It's not the magic number of 4.5 tenths. And that means that Beaker's going to have his work cut out here if he wants to make this work. He's already gone into mode 4, which means by the time he reaches the home straight, at the end of it, he will have already run out.
Yeah, but Korn in front of him is at the same level of ERS, so that's the only thing that's going for him. He's not going to catch up, he's just nowhere near. Barely gained down that straight. And yeah, so he's 0.7 now behind Korn. So where else are we looking? Oh, the two Williams boys are swapping around. Going into turn 1. Flex's Falcon Felix has gone through.
Oh, this is a battle of constructors here. You got the two Haas drivers right behind in 12 and 13. And you got the two Williams up ahead having a battle too to try and keep them entertaining. And Exterminator, he was the guy who he did qualify P2 at in the actual qualifying session. He managed to get past Verstappen. He's got his full car ahead. There was almost a bit of contact between the two, but now the other Haas there of Jezza, he's trying to get round Verstappen. It's going to be a tough one. He's got the outside line. There's a bit of contact between the two of them, and Jezza, he is ahead. But now Verstappen manages to come back in front, and it's going to be a tough one now. There's contact between the two. Verstappen just weaved and just hit him. I think he lost the back end and then just slammed into the front of Jezza. Jezza held it together enough to not lose out, but that was very close to being a major incident.
Very, very close. Verstappen pulls far over to the left here, actually. Interesting move. Obviously trying to let Jezza have some non-slipstream air, and Verstappen's run wide. Joining on the back of this, though, is Flash. As Jezza's just dove through. Is Verstappen just let him through there?
I think he might have done. I think he'll let him through. I don't know if he's just feeling a little bit bad for what happened earlier. It was pretty risky. It could have really been quite disastrous, but no, he's holding on together now, coming into the final corner. There was almost a too wide moment there when Flash was looking for an inside move. Verstappen, he's under attack now from our what was race leader earlier, Flash. It's gonna be a tough one. He's actually going super defensive now. Actually, Jez is gonna be in trouble now. Flash goes down the inside. It's gonna be a really tough braking zone. He's overshot it quite a lot, but he kept it enough together. There was contact between Jezza and Verstappen. Jezza got a little nudge there from the back of Verstappen, and look, Flash managed to make two overtakes happen in just one corner.
Yeah, he's really careful though. Jezza is still on the rear of him. One mistake and Jezza will have that place. And while you're speaking, Sweat You and Rupert have pitted. Rupert coming out a fair bit behind Assassin, obviously, because I think he might have had his front wing changed at the same time. So Flex's Marcy current race leader, but only just from Enigma. 0.4 between them out front. Then there's a bit of a gap down to 3, where Korn and Beaker are battling out. Less than a second between those two. Obviously the top 5 are still to pit, and so have a few others further down the grid.
I'm just looking at the front runners at the minute now. Flex's Marcy, we've seen this earlier, where it was Enigma chasing Flex Marcy, or there was a fake there. I think he was trying to fake him to go into the pits, but they both just carried on. Enigma did not blink. He went straight into the pits alongside him, and now it's going to be a battle of the pit crew. Who's going to come out on top? Is it going to be Enigma, or is it going to be Flex Marcy? Oh, the Ferrari crew were quick. Has he got ahead? He has. He's done it. Oh no, he hasn't. Sorry, there was a bit of a delay. Flex's Marcy didn't get his car didn't come out, so he is still ahead of Enigma. But look who's back on top. Richie B. He did qualify P1 in the qualifying. Exterminator came P2, and that's exactly where they resume.
Look at that gap between Enigma and Assassin. They were quite close before they went in, and Assassin has just outbroke himself a little bit into turn 1, and he's 2 and a bit seconds off the back of his teammate then, which is not what he wanted. He wanted to be up there. Obviously had a bad race last time in Australia. I was hoping to make amends for it. It's not done it just yet.
Major battle, further downfield. The two Mercedes drivers along the back of the Renault. There was a moment where I thought there was going to be a switcheroo from the Mercedes, and it might happen now. Actually, Paddy's going to go down the inside of Sweat You as they come up into turn 4. It's going to be a difficult one. We saw in the official F1 that Hamilton made a very beautiful move around the outside of Vettel. But this time, Paddy was trying to take the inside, and in the end, he didn't let it work. It was actually Sweat You who managed to pull himself back and take P15 again.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about battles on here in Royal F1. You can't look much further away from the Mercedes boys a few years ago now. Lewis and Nico going the Duel of the Desert, I believe it was called at the time, and setting what we thought was going to happen for the rest of the championship, just them battling side by side, pretty much through the entire first sector and most of the second sector. And it's great to see the Mercedes boys doing it again, but this time in the game.
Enigma almost ploughed into
Paddy's lost it! Sorry, Paddy's just lost the rear end on turn 12. Blue collected him. I don't know if Blue picks up any damage as a result of it, but you just give him a massive clout. And he's dropped.
Don't see any. I don't see any damage on the Renault, unless
No,
there's
he's
an
got away
element
with it.
damage. I think he
No, he's
may.
got
I
away
think he
with
may have just luckily got away without any damage, but from the mistake of Paddy. But that was close. And yeah, major mistake from the Mercedes driver.
Yeah, he's only lost one place, but he's lost 5 seconds or so, and obviously put a bit more wear into those tyres than he would have liked. So where Enigma on Fluxus Marcy still going at it.
Yeah, actually, we just missed Assassin. Just gave Jezza a bit of a bump up the backside, and Jezza lost the control just a touch. He had a bit of a wobble, went off track a little bit, recovered. Assassin backed off to let him back through again, just as an apology. And some good sportsmanship racing between the two of them. But it does mean now it's back to business as usual, and we'll see who recovers most and who capitalises the best.
Yeah, well, we are on lap 14 of 29, and
Rupert?
sort of... Rupert or Rupert?
Rupert, sorry. Rupert was actually battling with Verstappen. He is again. He's managed to get down the inside. Very good overtake. That is a very difficult area to make an overtake happen, with it being such a downforce heavy corner. If Rupert was able to make the inside move, which he did, then although having said that, he's now opened himself to being in the firing line of Verstappen. Remember, Verstappen is on older tyres, but he does have DRS and slipstream. He also has a lot of ERS to work with. And is this going to be a pass back on Rupert? Rupert's gone defensive. He's going to be coming up towards turn 1. Rupert's going to have to take a very tight line. He knows it, so he has to force the Williams wide. And he does hold on. It's all about the exit speed, though. And Rupert, wow, what a defensive drive.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there, but nothing too much to worry about. All's fair in love and war. Beaker picking up penalties on the back of Corn still. They've been battling now for a fair few laps. Zones join the back of that battle. And that's carrying for only for P11, but if one person DNFs from the top, that is a battle for a point. And obviously we've still got Falcon Felix to pit, Jezza to pit, Verstappen to pit. So chance for points will come to them towards the end of the race. As I think I saw on overtake a flash on Falcon Felix a moment ago. But now he's got such a big lead, it's... Yeah, Flex's Marcy's on the back of Falcon Felix. Let's see if he can make a move anytime soon. He's got to be careful though, because Enigma is on the rear of Marcy as well.
Yeah, Flex he's got really good opportunity now to make a really good overtake for P4. He's right here on the back of Falcon Felix. He doesn't want to make the overtake happen here though, otherwise he's not going to be keeping on of it. He's lost out on DRS now. Yes, Falcon Felix is on much older tyres, but we just saw what can happen if Verstappen had an opportunity to take the inside line. Now Flex is going to have to do the same thing Rupert did earlier if he wants to hold on to this place. It's going to be a tough one. Flex moves over to the inside line. It's going to be a tough one now if Falcon Felix manages to get around the outside. He locks up hard there. The tyre's just not working out for him, and now Enigma might be able to capitalise on this too. Let's keep an eye out for the both of them as he's going to get the slipstream coming down in towards turn 4. He's already looking for an inside, but I think he's just cooling his tyres down a little bit, ready for this corner. He doesn't want to be oversteering or understeering. He just wants to take it nicely, but Beaker will be happy with that penalty that's just come up.
Yeah, he's just made a move on Corn as well, and Zone looks to be making a move as well. As Jezza has pitted to promote. Ooh, just watching Corn and Zone coming close together.
Yeah, Corn actually ran really wide going into turn 4. He actually just gained so quick onto Beaker. He didn't realise how quick he was coming in. Locked up pretty severely, and then he had to run wide as a result, which almost gave Zones a position. But Corn manages to hold on. But he is falling further and further away from Beaker after Beaker made a beautiful move into turn 10. Into P10, sorry.
Falcon Felix has dropped another place to Enigma, who's trying to close in on Flex's Marcy. Flex's Marcy, you've been a great race so far. Come a little bit out of nowhere, considering the last time out. But still, currently P4. And potentially, if Richard being exterminated, definitely have to pit again. So whether or not Flash will have to pit again, and that could be the crucial part. But Flex's Marcy is right up in the rear of Flash, so as they're going down towards turn 1, actually, Flex's Marcy, last the late breakers, side by side.
It's a tough one. Oh, Flash.
For now.
What a drive from him, though. That was such a good defensive move going through that little chicane there. Well done by him.
But is he going to hold it off through turn 4? Yes, is the answer to that.
Flex's just got caught out though. Flex's went for an inside move and then panicked. He was like, oh no, I'm actually hit him. Slammed on the brakes, locked up a little bit, and yeah, he had to bail out. There was no other alternative for him, but that's not going to have helped his tyres very much.
Yeah, Enigma is still there as well, so he's going to have to be careful. Fake has got another card if he wants to get onto the podium, if not on the very top step of said podium. And further down, Beaker, still Beaker, Corn and Zane are all battling together, but I'm going to keep my eye on this battle for third, because I think this could be a big change on the home straight coming up.
But not just that, obviously Enigma won last time out in Australia, so he's going to need as many points as he can to maintain his league, pole in the league standings. And that's kind of where he's going to need to look for a DRS overtake on Flex's. If he can capitalise on it the most, he might actually be able to take Flash in the same corner, but either way, it's going to be a really tough battle to do. And looking at the way that Flex's is right now on the back of Flash, I fully expect this to be an overtake. Oh, he almost lost the back end, but he kept it together, and already he's gaining on him. Look at that DRS now. He's going to be making a very quick overtake on Flash. Enigma, he's going to be looking for an opportunity too. Is he going to go for an inside dive? He's not. He's going to take the normal line. But Flash has a little bit of a mistake, and almost put Enigma in the back of him. But Flex's takes P2, Flash is in P3 now, and Enigma stays P4.
Yeah, Richard be making that pit stop. He's come out on fresh set of softs. Definitely going to the end now. It's whether or not Exterminator can make it until lap 20, probably 21, I'd say, if he wants to set some super softs on. So he's got a little bit further to go. Oh, Enigma so close to the rear of Flash there. So desperate to get past. Flash, 5th place last time out. Obviously Enigma did win. Flash is actually, was a champion. I can't remember, I think it's either 7 or 9 last time out. So it's good to see a previous champion from quite far down coming up and running with the top boys in this league. Yeah,
actually look at Enigma. That middle DRS zone, he had an opportunity to make a pass on Flash. And actually, this is the one time where passing on the middle DRS zone is actually the most beneficial, because he'll have DRS on Flex's Marcy as well, so he'll be able to defend as well as attack. But looking further down, the two Renaults are really close to each other, just coming up towards turn 12 now. And I don't expect there to be any sort of overtake going through this section, but keep an eye out. Coming to home straight, I think we're going to see some switches.
Yeah, well, we're going to potentially see some switches here. Enigma is closing on Flash on DRS as well, but Enigma with effectively double slipstream. He's not going to make any moves this time around. Flex's Marcy holds on P2, but only just. Let's have a look at the Renault boys. See if Blue's going to make this move on Ripson.
Oh, Ripson goes defensive. I don't know. I think he knew that he was faster anyway.
He's out.
What happened to Sweat You? Is he died in the pits?
Yeah, he's retired in the pit lane, I believe.
Yeah, he has, yeah. He's going to be so disappointed with that. Mercedes have not really had a good run. Sweaty's already at DNF. Paddy lost his car earlier. Yes, he's still running, but he is running out of the points, and he's under attack from Falcon Felix. He's 4.3 seconds off the Renaults that we saw earlier battling, and that's realistically, Paddy's just in all sorts of shapes that are not the right one.
Well, speaking of being in shapes, the Force India boys are all over the back of Beaker at the moment. And Beaker, if doesn't get his foot down, could lose 2 places on the home straight. Richard B some fresh softs on that car, looking to make moves as Corn's trying to make some moves on Beaker. They've been battling for most of the race, I think, haven't they, those two, Beaker and Corn?
They have. Beaker was actually using Korn as just for slipstream and DRS to try and just keep the pace going and look after his tyres. He didn't want to really need to put too much power down in order to take off. But the second that Beaker realizes he's under attack, he already puts his foot down. He gets himself to a 6/10 gap between him and Korn, and that's allowed him to now be safe coming down this DRS straight. And now Korn went from thinking about attacking Beaker to now worrying about his teammate behind him, Richie B, who is just hunting him down. It's not going to be this lap, but give it another lap. We may see a move. Big lock up there from Richie B. Almost went into the back of his teammate. Beaker lost a lot of time there on Korn, and now Korn is so close to the back of him. Coming the next DRS straight, we might see another switch.
You say that, but Beaker has pulled out a half-second lead already. And while you're talking, Exterminator pisted from the lead. Means Flex's Master is your current race leader, only just from Flash and Enigma. It could be going down to the wire here. We've got 9 laps to go, and it's anything but over. I think the team orders are coming into play in Force India.
Yeah, interesting that. I'm not quite sure what happened now, unless Richie B said, let me pass them faster, but also use me as slipstream, you'll be able to close up, and who knows, you might be able to get an overtake of Beaker. He's not going to have DRS, and that does mean that you'll be able to use my slipstream. Like you said earlier, double slipstream is quite crucial, because you're literally running in zero air then, and that just means you can fly away very quickly, and Beaker may lose out.
Well, Richard B does have near fresh soft tyres compared to fresh-ish mediums on Beaker, but 2 lap softs compared to 7 lap mediums is a significant difference, and that's probably why he said, look, get out of the way, I want to come through, I've got much fresher tyres than you, I'm trying to get up to the front 3 here, you're battling in this position, I'm battling for the lead here.
Yeah, Korn will have DRS, but he's also going to get DRS attacked from zones too. Beaker now, what's he going to do? He's going to go defensive. He hasn't really got much of a choice. Richie B goes around the outside. It's going to be an already done move before we even get to turn 1. Is Beaker going to go defensive? He's going to try, but it's just going to be too little in vain as Beaker falls to P7. Richie B starts his climb back up to the top.
He's got to be careful though. Beaker won't give up easily. Just yet, anyway. Give it another few corners and maybe he will. But Richie B has to find 9 seconds if he wants to get past Rupert. And I can't remember all the penalties details. I think Beaker picks up 3 and Korn's picked up 3 so far.
Yeah, they did. I don't think Richie B... don't know actually. Richie B may have 3 penalties. I think I saw him get one. Paddy's had one. He's just got one now.
Yeah,
I think he may actually have 2.
Richie B definitely. One of the front 3 on the Supersofts had a penalty. I think it was Richie B.
We'll have to wait and see what the penalty evaluation is. But crucially, look back at the front runners. Flex is obviously your race leader. Flash is there in P2. Enigma is actually out of DRS range now, and that is huge for him because he's going to be looking to take the race win. But he's not got a lot of time to work with. 7 more laps to go of this session. He is on the limit of DRS, but it does mean he has to really pull his finger out and get it together throughout. Exterminator, he's on the back of blue. We'll keep an eye out for him and see what he's able to achieve. Now, I do have a penalty update for you.
Okay,
so Assassin has 3 seconds. Rupert has 3 seconds. Richie B has 3 seconds. Beaker has 3. Actually, he's just lost a place to Korn Bottas as well, who also has 3 seconds of penalties. So it's looking like majority of drivers just seem to be having 3. I think Zone's got one earlier as well. We'll keep an eye out throughout and see if any more come in.
I'll keep my eyes on Rupert. He did really well in his first stint with that damaged wing. He's all over the back of Assassin here. And obviously these guys both have penalties, so that's not really going to matter come the end of the race unless another one pick up another one. But Rupert could have 4th place here and split the Ferrari boys. We'll find out shortly.
Yeah, Rupert's actually giving a really solid drive. Yes, he does have a 3-second penalty. So does Assassin, who's right here in front of him. The ones further above also don't have any, so purely he might be able to battle with Assassin, but other than that, he's not really going to be in with a shot of taking a podium. But Assassin, he is in trouble. He's looked all out of shape so far this session, and now he might be thrown into P5, and that might be his shape.
Yeah, it's confirmation there that Zones has 0 penalties as well, so he's in a good position, hanging off the back of Beaker as Rupert gets past Assassin quite easily at the end of the day. And I'm going to assume Exterminator has no penalties, and he is on some soft tyres and is making moves past Zones.
I mean, Zones is doing a really good job of keeping alongside him. I actually was really surprised he was able to do that. They did both have DRS, but actually Exterminator ran quite wide going into that turn 1, and yeah, that is a big ooh, because Assassin just got another 3-second time penalty. That drops him 6 seconds. Now, it doesn't matter if Rupert is in front of him or behind him. As long as he's 3 seconds behind him, he's got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, and that actually brings Richie B into it a little bit more. He's effectively seconds P5 for now, as Exterminator is trying to make moves on Korn in front. Exterminator is getting rather aggressive, I think, but he's got to do what he's got to do to get these positions. He knows he's going to get 3 penalties anyway, but well, he might know he's going to get 3 penalties. He wants to get after Richie B. That is going to be his aim. Obviously, he doesn't have any penalties, Exterminator, but Richie B does, and wants to get up as close to him as possible. He needs to make a move on Korn and then Beaker. He might get them both on the home straight if he can hang around, or might just say Korn beforehand, mightn't he?
Well, I think he might actually be able to, because he is within DRS range even on Beaker.
Yeah.
So even if he does make a pass on Korn beforehand, which he hasn't, then he would have been able to use the DRS to attack Beaker on the actual straight. I think this lap is just going to be Korn losing a place, but we'll have to see how. I mean, Korn has actually done a really good drive. Korn has got out of that corner so quickly. Although there was a bit of a scare there for Exterminator. I thought he was going to go flying into the back of Korn. It looked like he got caught out a little bit, but no, he managed to break the car just in time, and the positions stayed exactly as they were before.
Yeah, Zones is still hanging on the back of this battle as well. He doesn't want to give up. Blue going fast of everyone. No surprise when you've got clean air and some super softs. But Exterminator still on the back of Korn. This is working really well for Beaker, who can start just trying to put away a little bit from Korn because he's got his mirrors full of a Haas. That has to be a good dive there.
Well, he's going for it. He's giving it everything. I mean, Exterminator actually is still behind him, but he does have a difficult series of corners to come up here. Korn, major lock up there. That allows Exterminator to come on the inside, and that was very smart driving from Exterminator. He expected Korn to make a mistake, and it was quite a crucial one. They both have DRS coming into turn 11. Actually, Exterminator cut that corner quite massively there. He is still ahead, but he is so close between the two. This is going to be a rough ride all the way down, and Exterminator needs to make sure he doesn't get out of the DRS range of Beaker, and Zones getting that 3 seconds means that Beaker and Korn are safe from losing that position. It's purely just Exterminator they need to worry about.
No, Ripson as well. He's half second off the back of Zones, so you can
yeah.
have them as well. We're on 25 of 29, so still not done yet.
I can't believe we've got a five-way battle for P7. This is crazy. We're literally 4 laps to go of the race. Exterminator almost ploughed into the back of Beaker. I think there was contact, but it wasn't enough to destabilise Beaker that much, and Beaker holds on to P7 this time round. 4 laps to go. Beaker's going to have to do everything he can to hold on to this. There is some switches happening further down as Blue managed to get past Jezza. Jezza had a little look for an inside move. It's not going to quite work out for him, as those fresh super softs for Blue will be better for him. Exterminator giving it everything.
Should Beaker let him through and just go, look, I know you're faster. I'm no point wasting my tyres. I can actually get behind you and use your DRS to hold off Korn. Because Beaker's going to lose this place irregardless as it stands.
He is, but he can actually force Exterminator to make a mistake and actually gain himself a 3-second time penalty earlier. We saw what happened between Exterminator and Korn, where they were battling right here on this track on turn 11. Exterminator did cut the corner quite severely, and that actually made Exterminator cut the corner too much. Potentially got a warning and maybe even get a penalty next time round if that happens again. But I mean, if you're Beaker, you are going to be dropping something.
Up P3 change. Rupert's got past Enigma. Didn't see that coming.
I know, Rupert's driving out of his mind today.
Just looking at where he came last week, he came 9th. Now he's trying to push for a podium, and he's close enough to Flash that he's going to get some DRS when he gets to that point.
Beaker's lost out. Oh, Exterminator's made a mistake. Exterminator's gone really wide. Beaker's now going to be looking to capitalise on this mistake as much as he possibly can. Exterminator's going to have the better tyres, but Beaker has a better run. He's got the inside line too, and it comes up into turn 4. This is Beaker's opportunity to hold this position off. He's coming side by side with Exterminator, and he's done it. Beaker reclaims P7. What a move by him.
It's not over yet. Exterminator is all over the back of him. Is he going to make a move here? No, he's not. Beaker a little late on the break. Little lock-up going into turn 8 there.
Zones and Corn, they're actually battling as well. Zones managed to get past him. Corn's got the inside line again, but last time we saw this happen, Corn made a huge mistake. But Zones is still there with him. There's a little bit of contact between the two of them. Corn lost the back end just a touch, but he's still in P9. Zones, he's looking to double his points, but so is Ripson. He's looking to capitalise on any mistake that these guys make. 3 laps to go. Can we hang on for this long?
Oh, that's Assassin picking up his 9-second penalty. Rich B's only got 3 seconds, so Assassin's going to drop a place there. And crucially, our battle, what was for 7th to 10th, is now a battle for 7th to 12th. And potentially even more if Falcon Phoenix can close. Rupert has made a move into turn 1 on Flash. Has he?
He has.
Yes, he has. Wow.
He is going mental today. P2 for Rupert. Yes, he has that 3-second penalty, and ultimately all these movements is going to be for nothing. Exterminator's managed to get past Beaker again as well. Exterminator's made another mistake. Same place. Beaker's made a mistake as well, though. That's going to allow Exterminator to get through. Corn is right here on the back end of Beaker. Beaker is doing such a good job of defending, but he has let Exterminator through. Just one mistake too many for Beaker now, and it's going to be Corn taking that position away from him as well.
For now, Ripson's got past Zones as well, just behind them. This is going to be one of these typical Bahrain battles I was talking about earlier. It's not going to be over until the checker flag, and even then it might not be over.
No, I think this is going to be going to the end and more. These drivers are giving everything. The Corn has been chucking the kitchen sink, so has Rupert. Everybody is giving it everything they can, and it's good to see so much blood, sweat and tears. And unfortunately, it's more tears. Williams driver Verstappen has unfortunately DNF'd from the race, so close to the end. That is some sad times for him, but it's still can't keep our eyes on it for too long because the battle for P7 is still not ending.
And nor is the battle for what is going to be P2. Enigma is still hanging around Flash. Obviously, Rupert has that 3-second penalty. Enigma has nothing, nor does Flash. So Rupert will drop back down to 4th, but we've got 2 laps to go. And who's actually going to be P2? This is still going as well. If either of these guys pick up penalties, then that's going to work out well for Rupert. So let's go back to this. Beaker's putting a lead over Corn here. Exterminator's gone.
Yeah, Corn's tyres, you would have thought they would have been on par with Beaker. I don't know if Beaker's just getting a better line out of the corner or something, but Beaker's actually doing a really good job of pulling it away. The gap between the drivers behind as well is not actually shrinking. They all seem to be just sort of evening out on pace. And the only person who is just excelling right now is Beaker. He's done such a good job of pulling away from Corn. It's just, is it going to be enough for him to secure a points position? Because his time penalty now will knock him down. Zones does have a 3 seconds as well, but I think Paddy might be just in there. Yeah, he is. Paddy's actually within the 3 seconds of Beaker. So when Beaker, Corn and Zones all get penalised, Paddy will get P9.
Well, let's wait until the checker flag before we start working out maths of an ever-changing timing board. Out front, Rupert has got outside the DRS zone of Flash, but he's only got 1 lap to get 3 seconds clear. Maybe he just want to be 3 seconds clear. Corn's picked up another penalty. That's going to be music to Beaker's ears.
So Beaker will only lose... I mean, I don't know if Ripson's got a penalty. I don't think he does. I have been informed, obviously, that Paddy does have a 3 seconds as well. So Zones and Paddy do have 3 seconds each. So where they finish on track is where they're going to finish on track. Beaker obviously only has the 3. Corn has 6, I think you said. So he's going to lose out no matter what. But Beaker might actually benefit quite a lot here. He might actually be able to keep his P8 position, depending on if Ripson gets a penalty or not.
Yeah, my eyes are currently still focused up at the front end of this grid. Flash and Enigma still going at it. This is for P2. P1 is well out of sight to the point that he has a penalty clear of Rupert, and Rupert's got a 3 second penalty to serve of his own. It's just whether or not Flash and Enigma, if they pick up a penalty on this last lap, that was going to be music to Rufus' ears. He's going to secure a podium. He definitely deserves a podium after this race. Whether or not he'll get one, we shall find out. Richie B is going to take Assassin, that's for sure. Assassin with 9 seconds of penalties could actually lose out to Exterminator as well.
Well, we are on the final lap here, and Flex's Marcy only has one more corner to go before he takes the Bahrain Grand Prix. He's done such a good job here in the race. His qualifying was a bit more to be desired, but as long as he doesn't make a mistake on this bit, he will come across the line. He will take the race lead and the win here in Bahrain, but you've just seen a penalty pop up there for Exterminator. That is potentially... I mean, it's not going to make a difference for him because actually he's going to still be ahead of Bika, who also has a 3 second. They're both even on points now, so if he'd got another one, then that would have meant that Bika would have been able to take the P7 away from him, but no.
Denied him P6, that's what it's done. So, that midfield pack has finished, and now you can see where they have all finished. Ripson getting P8 from Bika, P9. Zones getting the last 3 points positions then. So,
what a race
really
that
close
was.
race.
That was insane.
Yeah,
I feel bad for Rupert there.
Yeah, he deserved a podium today. He drove out his skin. Getting out to P2 against people like Assassin, who we expected to be... Enigma and Assassin expected to be at the very front of this. Flash coming from nowhere this race as well. And so with Flexis Marcy. Great driving out there today.
So let's have a quick look, and I was about to say look at the biggest winner. I think it was Flexis Marcy, and I was going to ask you now, who is your driver of the day?
I suspect it's going to be Flexis Marcy. I just want to see the final position screen just to make sure that I'm not going to say the wrong one. Yes, Flexis Marcy. Great drive for Rupert. If Rupert had P2, it would have been Rupert hands down. But Flexis Marcy takes it for me today.
Yeah, very well earned champagne right there. I agree with you. Flexis Marcy for me is the driver of the day. He just did some next level driving to get himself up onto P1. He had a rough Australia and he recovered to dominate here in Bahrain. Yes, his qualifying pace was more left more to be desired, but his race pace was what it was all about. And there he is, starting in P6, takes the race victory. What a beautiful drive by him. So,
absolutely.
That is it from us here at Apex Online Racing. I've been Ben Rwaggy McConnell, and joining me at Amkasa Desk has been Jamie Amkasa Elder. Thank you so much for joining me today, Amkasa. It's been an absolute pleasure commentating alongside you as always. If you guys want to see us again, come tune in next week, and we'll have more entertaining content.
In China.
Take care. In China. Goodbye.
Bye for now.